African Democratic Congress has admitted it is under increasing pressure to zone its 2027 presidential ticket. Jackie Wyers, the party's Deputy National Publicity Secretary, said the final decision rests with the National Executive Committee, which will determine whether to adopt zoning or an open primary system. Wyers explained that internal consultations are ongoing as members push for clarity on whether the ticket should rotate across regions or remain open for all aspirants. She stressed that the NEC will provide clear guidelines on the matter before the primary election. According to her, the party's overriding priority is rescuing Nigeria from its present socio-economic challenges. She emphasized that the ADC will place national interest above political calculations in its choice of a presidential flag bearer. Nze, what do you make of this story?
We expected that this pressure will come because when you look at the two power blocks that we have in ADC, in this coalition stuff, the northern bloc and the southern bloc, you know that it will be difficult for them to stand up and say that we are zoning to this bloc or to this bloc. Because Atiku is holding tenaciously to his demand and desire and aspiration to contest 2027 general election. And you see Mr. Peter will be coming up from the south, holding tenaciously to his desire to contest 2027 general election. So it will be very difficult for the nascent, I call them nascent, the baby coalition, to stand up and say, South, rest, let North. Even when it is the time of the South, if they speak like that, Atiku might get grieved and turn his political associates in the North as against the ADC and the coalition. It is very, very possible. Then if you stand up to say, no, let the zoning go to the North, the Southern bloc, we said, no. It is the turn of the South. The North has done 8 years full. The South has. Why is it that whenever it is the turn of the South, the North will jump in and truncate it? As we can see in the 2015 election, when Mr. Goodluck Jonathan just had his 4 years first time, and the North took it over from him by voting in the President Muhammadu Buhari, who is from the Northeast. And I mean Northwest. So coming to this Bola Mohammed Tinubu's time, he's from the Southwest. And it is expected that either the same Southwest or Southeast or South-South will produce a successor to this government if APC will not retain power. It has to be from the South that will, to complete their tenure. So if ADC should come and say, no, let's zone it to the North, the South will say that ADC is anti-South. And the coalition will not work. So the pressure is there. We saw the pressure coming, but we were waiting for them to announce it. That because when fire is burning, you are not telling anybody. You can be left in that fire until you are consumed. So we were quiet. We know that this pressure will come. And now that Jackie has come to say, we're under pressure, there is only one remedy. And that remedy is still also not too palatable. But that's what may save ADC. Remember, ADC is factionalized. When I talk about ADC, I'm talking about ADC under Mr. the former Senate President, the Benue man anyway. I've forgotten his name. Oh, no, old age tells on me sometime that memory can skip. So now the ADC under him. Then
David
Mark, yeah. Then the other ADC, the faction of ADC that came to say no, we were not properly carried along during the negotiation between the ADC and the coalition. Those ones are still there. So the one under David Mark is facing this pressure, and I believe that it will make them to be very, very proactive. Like Jackie said, that they are prioritizing national interest. It will make them to throw the primary open. Let everyone contest, irrespective of where you come from, so as to save themselves that bias that might be accused on them if they should choose sides now. So they throw it open for everybody to contest. Whoever wins, whether you are from north or you are from south,
All right.
it will make people see them
So
as
for you,
neutral.
for you think that primaries, open primaries is the best?
For them, not actually the best.
Presidential candidates should emerge to delegate Congress.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Whoever emerges, people should take him to be the choice of
the
God
party.
And the party. The choice of God.
God.
Yeah, why I said choice of God is it is God that chose this one and not really the bloc.
At what point do we remove God from Nigerian
No. You can never remove God from Nigerian politics. In as much as the politicians are trying to rub God with mud, but the blood of Jesus is there to speak for us and wash us clean.
All right. Chizi, Masla, what do you make of this story?
Well, some of us have been vindicated when we said that this is actually not a coalition. This is a committee of men who have lost power or losing power. It's not a coalition. When I want to differentiate a coalition, you understand that I studied political science and I'm speaking from the place of authority. In coalition, if you look at what happened in 2014, going into 2015, that is the coalition that happened in APC. It was a coalition of parties, not individuals. It's a coalition. You saw that ACN then, you saw CPC, you saw some part of ABGA, then you saw ANPP, and then you saw some part of the PDP. No wonder you saw about 11 to 12 governors in that coalition. So it was a party thing. So individuals were not put up. All the party needed was to go back to the party to accept whether they were going there or not. But in this case, this is not about party. This is about those who have lost power, or it's about losing power, who have come together to say, let's go and rescue power. No wonder there will be pressure. The pressure is because all of them who came there wanted to get power. For instance, the distinguished Senator David Mark knew that he wouldn't have been the PDP chairman. He wanted to be PDP chairman. They gave it to Ayo. And then because they were looking at the Senate presidency, and the PDP chairmanship is still in his zone, and so he can't get it again because they've gotten it to another person. Right now he's in ADC. He's in part of the ADC that has given him the chairman. You see, his own has been satisfied. Now there are other gladiators whose own has not been satisfied. No wonder there will be pressure. Because if you are saying this, you're considering Nigeria, I don't know where they got the concept of democracy that says you can't zone. There's no democracy. Democracy is hinged on majority voice. That means that if the majority says that means if we decide that this is how our democracy will be, presidential democracy will be, we'll do it. US is practicing democratic government. I'm sure that UK is also practicing democratic government, and other countries that chance may not allow to begin to mention, but they are not practicing the same type of democracy. Because what they are doing is for their own democracy to speak the dialect, the language, if not the dialect of the host environment. And so your democracy must speak the dialect. If your democracy is obscured from what you know, is undemocratic, it's an imposed system. So the ADC has come. So the only thing I can advise the ADC is that what are you saying if you are considering Nigeria? We are so blessed with human capital in this country that I can tell you, I'm not talking about zone. I'm saying that the 774 local government, you will find more than 15 capable persons that can lead in this country. And I tell you, we are so blessed with that. And so if they mean it, if you feel, cumulatively speaking, as a community, you feel that the president is not doing well, quote unquote, by them, like what they claim. And so the first thing is to say, okay, all of us will sacrifice so that we can get it right. Let us begin to get it right. How did the power slip Jonathan? Not for lack of capacity, not for lack of ability to lead, not because he wasn't leading well, but because the people felt that Jonathan completed the regime of his Oga, which was Yaradua, late Yaradua, of blessed memory. Jonathan completed that 2 years. When he was now going to go back to the second term, if you put his Ogas and his own together, when Jonathan in Taraba, I keep mentioning it, said, I am going to run for this term, because by then he would have done 6 years. And then if you put his Oga, it would have been 2 years that he was going to hand over. At that point, some of us who are from, especially the late in Africa, we don't talk ill about the man who is dead. But I don't know how I will lie just to talk about the man who is dead. the late Clarake, whose memory may not be blessed, said all manner of things and made Jonathan to now come back to run. They say, it's our turn, we must complete it. If Jonathan had handed over to even Sambo or anybody in the north, the PDP would have been in power right now. So the sentiment they came was that, oh no, this is supposed to go to the south. Even though all of us who says it's going to be, we are more ethnically minded than we will agree. All of us. And what we would have done is to be bold enough to put it in our constitution that upon the completion of a tenure from this place will go. Even that's what we still do. So they came and said, and if you also look at that coalition, for instance, it was already, you couldn't see people here who were coming, you knew that it was going to a particular place. You just knew in APC, that it was going to, so it was because between Atiku, Abubakar, Buhari, Saraki, and all of that, all those people who were there then, those are the ones who contested and Buhari emerged. They looked at two things: who can win election. They knew that Buhari was having 12 million votes consistently. All he needed was to put in one or two leakages, votes that are around this thing by the support and then win. So if they gave him that, he would have brought 12 million votes. And now you have people who do have that vote. Obi had that vote. Obi has some. Obi won 12 states. Don't forget. From a no structure party, from just nowhere, he won 12 million votes. So I was thinking that the ADC, if they were really serious, but now I know that they're working for Tinubu. It's not. I know that. So what I would have thought is, all of them will come and say, okay, now let's give Obi what he lacked, which was the structure. Right? What he lacked, which was structure. If we gave him that structure, the man who worked against him from Kaduna would have pulled out his votes to Kaduna. Those ones who, there would have been a fight. But all of a sudden, no. They don't want that fight. Amechi wants to run for governor, for president, even though he had argued that the South has stayed 6 years, whether you like it or yes. There are, in the South today, there's just one zone that has not produced the presidency.
And that's the Southeast.
The Southeast. And in the Southeast, you have somebody who most Nigerians have accepted, Abdisho. So why didn't you just take it there? Now you know that the people are not interested in getting it. So I think that what I will advise, as a political scientist, I know that parties can come together and say, for this time, we're not running because we need to put our acts together. Let's run in 2031 and leave Tinubu to go, because they are not going to do anything. They are going to split their votes again. It's good. It's good for us who are members of the APC. They should keep being pressured.
Why do you say that the ADC is working for President Tinubu? Now
let me tell you why I'm saying that they're working for Tinubu is that these are main quote unquote. For instance, if you go to apply in anything, I'm beginning to wonder why people still ask Chizzy, what is your experience? I should bring my experience to board, because I'm no longer seeing experience at work. These are persons who has become senior president, who has become governors, who understands the language and the sentiment of politics in Nigeria. And so they are coming together. One would have thought that they will be doing things rightly, the way they came to power, the way they will take over the party. But all of a sudden, they are doing worse than what we thought. They came and took over the party and then announced a coup. And David Mark became the chairman of the party. They brought the secretary. The man again, Aribosola or what, became, everybody just picked everybody because, oh no, you shouldn't go for here, you should go here. They just picked and then happened on the party. And then we have another ADC, who by the law is the ADC. They haven't considered them. Like I said, could they have waited? ADC will be having their national convention this year. So could they have waited, okay, we are in the party, and then all of us, okay, let's wait until it is time. It's like when I called into the APC in 2017, I had all the powers. So what I would have done is just to take over the local government chairman or take over the listing of the APC and then begin to take over. Now you need to wait to see when there is a transition, and when transition comes, the opening, you can now contest. If they had waited, there would have been problem now. In fact, even the party in power would have been thinking, who is going to be national chairman? All of this argument that they are doing now would have come on board, so that there will be, okay, if this person is going to come as national chairman. But here, Atiku wants to be president, Erofai wants to be president, all of them wants to be president, Obi wants to be president, Amechi wants to be president. They refuse to mention Amechi because doesn't want us to be president. Amechi wants to be president. And so you are coming to a place where everybody wants to be president. They are no longer seeing any other person as qualified except themselves. So what is going to happen is they're going to be pressure, and then as soon as you throw it to delegate election,
Atiku will take the day.
The scene of delegate election. In the delegate election, please quote me. If Obi contests in that delegate election, it will be after Atiku, it will be Amechi, and then maybe for another person before Obi. Because delegate election. Delegate election is one election I fear. Because you know why? They have impoverished, including them, they have impoverished the followers. Who brings the delegate election? We do not have governors in this instance. So all the delegate that is going to come from the south side is simply coming from there, from Amechi. All the delegate that will come from the north will come from Atiku. Obi is not sure of bringing delegates from the southeast. I'm not exaggerating it. Obi is not sure of bringing delegates because to bring delegate, I know what it means. I'm a politician. See, I haven't done anything apart from politics, and that's what I'm going to do till they are going to bury me in politics. I know. So there is nothing. I'm telling you now from a position of use, having practiced what I know. That delegate is one of the hardest elections. No wonder you see that in the US, for instance, after the open primaries, they have what they call electoral college. What is the electoral college? Why are they there? The electoral college was going to look at the temperament, how do we get this thing, who can win this election for us. So after the primary election, the collegiate vote brings about 50% again. And then, you know, if you have anything and they bring 50% and give to someone, the president vote. So that's why you see they brought people who would think national, who would think their party, and then bring up that. So in this instance, if you have delegate election is about 3,000 something. If you look at 10, it won't be up to 10, like 6 or 7 from each of the local government, and then you bring about 3,000 something, and 3,000 something. Just put 10 million naira is about 40 billion naira. Obi will bring 40 billion naira to do what? And those delegates are not there to look at Obi's English. Now that they are looking at somebody, they are looking at who will give us the more money and who do we have to.
The highest bidder.
The highest bidder will collect it. So if you open it up, we are talking as politicians. We're talking about politicians. If you open it up, you know that it's going to go back to the north. That's good for us.
And now Atiku's aide has been saying over time that the emergence of the ADC presidential candidate is going to be by delegates conference. I mean, he has said it. I think I've heard it 2 times from him. You know, and when he said that, I was like, okay, now this is Atiku is going to be the presidential candidate of ADC if they decide to
let me tell you, there's something somebody told me, you know, one time. I don't want to mention the person. He's a former minister. I asked him, why were you not working with Tinubu? Then that's before Tinubu's emergence. Because I know he's close to Tinubu. He told me that, Chizi, Tinubu has been in this presidential race since 1990. Excuse me. Tinubu has been in this presidential race since 1990, and he has his friends from my place. And Tinubu does not know how to leave his friends. You know what that means? When he said that attracted me to Tinubu. He was thinking that's a bad one. Oh, he does not leave his friends. That means that if I become his friend now, he will not leave me. You know what Tinubu had done? Tinubu had worked for everybody who has contested for presidency in this country and kept quiet. So some of them should sacrifice. Obi is there. Work for Obi, or work for Amechi, or work for Atiku. Just sacrifice and say, this is the person we are bringing. They don't want to sacrifice, but they want people to work for them. So he has sacrificed. No wonder when he came, he said his own tongue, you know. Emidoko. People didn't understand what that means. What it means that I've worked for all of you. It is time for you to work for me.
All right.
And of course, even God that is they keep mentioning, we support him.
All right, Chichi. All right, go ahead.
You know, sometimes when we look at all this brouhaha taking place in our political field, I ask myself as a Nigerian, where are we going to? Who will salvage Nigerians from this slough we are sliding into? Now, I look at the analysis of Chizi based on delegate election. And you know, when I said that it would be very fair for the coalition under David Mark to throw the primary open. Because if they ever mention a zone, they will be offending a block. Now, you said that the one of Atiku's aide have been maybe advocating for delegate
Conference.
Congress, the delegate Congress. And if that dares happen, Atiku will take the block, all the delegates from the North. And you know that at every given point in time, North will always have higher number based on the arithmetic, political arithmetic they have solved in the past that is standing against the South. And the P2B may not have control over Southwest. South-South is already kept for Amaechi. So Obi and Amaechi will share South-South, and Southwest, and coming to Southeast. If no other person emerges from the Southwest, coming to Southeast, Atiku, I'm speaking as somebody from Southeast.
Right.
Atiku will still share from the delegate of Southeast, because some of the governors in Southeast are really Atiku's men. We should know that. Now, by the time they give their delegates to Atiku, what will Obi stand to gain? You see that Obi will lose, Amaechi will lose, Atiku will emerge. Yes, I'm not saying that Atiku will win 2027 general election, but at least he'll be in the ballot. And I believe that age might, if he fails this time, age might not allow him to contest again. Not because he's not willing, but because the strength might not be there. And that could
that can explain why Atiku is insisting.
He's been desperate
on running for 2027 presidential election.
So by the time he loses it out, then he knows that at least he has tried. Even when he goes to the land of the spirit, they will hail him that he tried, though he failed.